Good evening. Welcome. This is Hollywood to Houston. I am your host, Sandra Del Cid. Today, I have a local producer and writer from Houston, Texas. Bill Cox is here with us to share his experiences writing his books and producing his short films and upcoming feature. He is just around the corner here in Houston, Texas. So we're so excited that he is here with us. But before we meet him, I wanted to talk about a movie that's about to come out and that everybody's been waiting for. I cannot believe it's only been a year since the other one came out, the first one, and is, of course, The Avengers Endgame. I was shopping last Christmas and I saw something that caught my attention and I bought it. And hopefully the camera can get it. And here it is, Thanos, the bad guy. Hey, bald guys are good looking, but he is so evil. So anyway, I bought it for Christmas. I was gonna give it to somebody and I ended up keeping it. But everyone is so excited with this movie coming out. I'm not surprised it took them a year only to finish it since the first one made almost $1 billion. So it is April Fool's Day today. This movie, Avengers Endgame, will be out April 25th. So you don't want to miss it. This one is after Thanos made a mess. You know, we all saw the first one. He makes a mess, kills half the universe. So after Thanos makes a mess, now there's no food or water. That's what I found out about the upcoming movie. And Tony Stark sends a message to Pepper Potts. And as his oxygen is started to dwindle, he is sending and asking for help. He's trying to reach the remaining of the Avengers, which they are Thor, the Black Widow, Captain America, and Bruce Banner. They are some of the ones who survive, some of the Avengers who survive Thanos' attack. Now, they must all figure out a way to bring back their allies so they can have a final fight and a final showdown with Thanos. Now, what I've heard is that this movie is going to be 3 hours again. So be ready. Make sure you have a lot of snacks. Make sure you bring your popcorn and your hot dogs and your candy so that you can be up there entertained for 3 hours. There's rumors that after this movie, they're going to take a break and maybe recast some people. So we'll see what happens. But I know where everybody's going to be on April 25th and is at the movies. So let's go ahead and watch the trailer for the new upcoming Avengers Endgame. We'll be right back.
If we do this, we'd be going in short-handed.
Yeah, you mean because he killed all our friends?
We owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
It's not about how much we lost. It's about how much we have left. We're the Avengers. We gotta finish this. You trust me? I do. You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Tickets on sale now.
Good evening. Welcome. This is Hollywood to Houston. I am your host, Sandra Del Cid. Like I said before, today we have an awesome guest from Houston, Texas, not far from us. Today we have Bill Cox. Welcome.
Thanks so much.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Right. But I am here. I'm not trying to fool you. I am actually here.
It's not an illusion. I've been playing on Facebook all day long with April Fool's Day. But I'm so glad to have you here. And it's nice when we have local talent come to the show. I've been reading about you. You are a writer and a producer. And your latest short film is The Path. So this film is about a painting. What inspired you to? Did you write this film?
I did.
Okay.
A lot of people that know me that are into the indie film scene might know me from comedies. I have a feature comedy film called Beer and Seed, which is kind of a stoner film on Amazon. But I've also done numerous shorts, but primarily they've been comedies. And this is a little bit different. I've always been into the spiritual side of a person and been a spiritual person myself and trying to walk that path of faith. And the path came about. I was kept having a dream.
Oh, wow.
And it, for people out there that aren't necessarily creative types, what happens with I'm primarily a writer. I was a DJ. I've done a voiceover acting and stuff, but I'm primarily essentially a storyteller. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of got me into writing. And most of the stuff is comedy. And when you're creative, a lot of times your subconscious will create at night, and I am no different. So a lot of times that I would get up late at night or early in the morning, depending on the time, and maybe write down just a few lines of something that I thought of, that I dreamed of. This happened to me probably a couple of years ago now. And I got up, and instead of writing words, I drew a picture, which is totally unlike me. I've never been artistic at all, and I enjoy art, but I don't do it. If that makes sense, and because I'm more of a wordsmith, but. Just a little background on me. I'm from a place called Dowagiac, Michigan. I was raised on a farm. But I was in the Navy, and I lived over in Japan for a year and a half. And while I was there, I kind of got into the Eastern religions. However, my own background is my parents were Methodists, and my grandparents were Mennonites. But I'm a member of a Baptist church now, and doing all these productions, and like you're a working actress, you understand. You go from script to script to you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you forget what
I
part
got three
playing.
books going right now.
Right, and we all do, and we all do.
It depends what mood you're in, which book you're gonna go right?
Absolutely, but see, this was so different for me that. Drawing something, and then I kept thinking about it, during the day as I work, and then I kind of got the meaning revealed to me, and this is the drawing, mm-hmm. And what it taught me was the three rings are a person's life: learn, live, and legacy. And I didn't get the line first. It was just the circles.
And that was your dream?
First. It was in the first dream.
Okay.
And because the thing about it is, obviously I'm getting older, and maximizing life and making sure I had meaning in it was more important to me at this point in time in my life than if I was a teenager in my 20s. And so it was revealed to me: learn, live, and legacy. To maximize your life, learn is essentially like being a child. Live your adult life, but don't forget to leave your legacy. And then I got the lines, and the lines here: birth and then death. And what it also revealed to me is that this is not religion or belief dependent. regardless of your belief, you learn, and you're a child, be a child. But when you're adult, be an adult. And then when you're an elder, be an elder. Take time with the rest of these, mentor them. And then all of us will be leaving this planet. And so that was the first part, getting this revealed. And then the next part was the dreaming of what happens to people that aren't willing to let go of being a child, or people that won't be a child and want to be an adult right away, or people that are elders and then don't leave a legacy, and the emptiness that they leave behind. And you know, the thing about it is, and you can find my stuff on YouTube. Well, my feature Beer and Seed is streamed on Amazon, and which is free if you have Prime. But I've got shorts like I Love the Fat Chicks,
That
and
was
Computer
cute.
Virus Cure, and those are on YouTube. But comedy has always been what I've enjoyed doing. But this was the first thing of real substance that kind of hit me. And I think for creative people, you follow what your interests are and what's important to you. And that's kind of what I've done.
Good,
this.
good. I really like the beginning of The Path. What city is that?
I actually shot it in Houston.
Okay, that's Houston.
That is
I
all
kept
done
trying
in
to look
Houston.
at the buildings. Is that the
Right.
medical center? Wait a minute,
Right.
what's that? So I couldn't really. Well, I didn't have my glasses on. Maybe I should have put them on. But it looked beautiful. I like the beginning.
I
Yeah.
worked with Victoria Krause and Crystal Bolden of CrossNet Productions, and they were outstanding. And that's one thing about. I mean, of course, you know, I'm here, and thank you for having me on your show.
Oh,
Of
you're
course,
welcome.
talking about my projects, but I also kind of like to talk about the indie scene in particular. And in Houston, there is an incredible amount of talent here.
Yes.
And readily available. And I so enjoyed working with them. And I've used different talent before. I've worked with San Benarji of Next Actor. I've worked with Bob Willems of Champion Entertainment. Just a number of the people from HoustonFilm.org. Roger Palomino with Media Source. I've worked with him. And that's the wonderful thing about the indie film scene. If you get into it to make a bunch of money, you're probably going to be sadly mistaken. But if you're into it for the creativity
For
and
the
the
love,
enjoyment
yeah.
of doing the projects and of working with all these wonderful and talented actors like Travis Dunn, I worked with him once. I mean, these people, it's just incredibly rewarding.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely enjoy it.
Yeah, you really have to love it because sometimes it's 12-hour days, 14-hour days. So depends what set you're on. But, you know, yeah. You really
And that's
have to
one thing
love
about the actors, though, that I notice, particularly in Houston. None of them that I know of do it full time. They have a job, or they might have a part-time job or whatever, and they can fit it in with whatever their schedule is. But they're prepared, and they bring it when it's action. And that is the wonderful thing, and I think that's partly because they're used to working, and so you don't really have the very much of the diva-itis. You know, you don't have to coddle them. Typically they come, they're ready, get on set, and you nail it, and it really helps. It makes for a great project.
Okay. Well, let's watch a few minutes of your short film, The Path.
The Path.
Let's
Excellent.
watch a few minutes of it, and we'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Screw it.
Okay, well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the short film The Path by Bill Cox. Now, you're also, you've been working on Men Up also?
Yeah, I'm the director, which is pretty hard to believe, of the Man Up Adult Bible Fellowship at Sugarland Baptist Church, which is essentially the Sunday school class. But it is more like a leadership position or Christian leadership, and we get in there, and it's no church answers. It's men only, and they talk about faith and scriptures, and they apply it to everyday life. And so what we thought of doing is we thought that we'd do a podcast. And so we called it Man Up, Spiritual Oasis for Men. We're not pastors, we're just regular guys.
Okay.
And we are. And it's an amazing collection because it's essentially a panel discussion. But we have one guy who is a policy writer, but he's also a professional gambler. We have another guy who's an attorney, but he's a judge. We have a guy who's a deacon, sells insurance. We have another guy who is an intellectual. He's a trainer. And me as the director and host. And they take this stuff, and especially in the polarized environment that we're in now, where there's certain things that you can't talk about. If you want to start a fight, talk about religion or politics. You know?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing we started, and honestly, I thought, man, if we get 4 of these done, that would be win, you know? But ended up now, we're coming up on our 100th.
Wow.
And what is even more incredible about it, because it's Man Up, Spiritual Oasis for Men, we have a lot of women that listen to it. And I think in society today, people just like to know what the other side is thinking.
Yeah, there's 2 movies about that, what men want and what women want.
Right. Right. And so this has really helped us and our continued growth, and now we're up to 100. We've been doing it. We'll be passing 2 years. And it's just something nice to do that isn't about me.
What do y'all talk about usually? Okay.
What we do is we take your basic a Sunday school lesson, and we've discussed that on Sunday, but then we get the group together and they steal all the best the best quips that other people said, and we put a man's spin on it and kind of update what are we supposed to get from this stuff, and how is it supposed to help us? Bring it up to date, and then talk about it that way, and try to have a present day application. And we're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud, we're on Facebook, and it has just been it's one of those things that, you know, it's like you're throwing seeds out and some of them just grow. And this is one of those ones that has just basically taken off. And, you know, I'm the host, but I can't take the credit for it, you know.
Yeah.
So and it's good fun. It's good fun. Great bunch of guys. It's a great show, and it's fun to do.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up.
You're going to have to get your man card, though. It's Man Up.
And you are also, you have 2 books on Amazon. What are their names?
I was a wedding DJ for DJs Unlimited, or DJU Productions, or GTEX, same company. And I wrote 2 wedding books. The Ultimate Wedding Reception book was first because that's what my experience was in. And I also did a bunch of wedding ceremonies. So I had the Ultimate Wedding Ceremony book. And I wrote them. I wrote the wedding reception book first. And I found a book editor. Her name was Janie Franz. And so I submitted it to her, and she wrote me back an email. She goes, "Bill, nobody will buy this book. You write like a man." And, well, yeah, no kidding, you know? And so I hired her as a co-author, and she took the stuff and rearranged it and made it all readable and sound like it wasn't definitely come from a man. She took out a ton of the stories that were bad. I had a bunch of stories of bad stuff happening that were funny because it happened to me. But she said, nobody wants to read about that stuff. And so, and that's how we got that. The Ultimate Wedding Reception book was first, and then the Wedding Ceremony book. And really, that was more for not because there's so many design books out there, but the reality is, if you have a good plan, regardless of all the flowers and all the other stuff, the plan to make it look great, kind of like a script. And then you can walk through it, and it will be the wonderful event that you wanted to have, regardless of how much you spent. You want to be able to go through this kind of effortlessly, and that's what those 2 books do.
Okay, so it's about wedding planning, or?
It's absolutely about wedding planning, absolutely. And what I've seen and what works from a production.
Nice.
Right.
Very interesting. I'll have to look it up on Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon and on Kindle. Yes, you can read them on Kindle. So, but it's funny about that kind of stuff. I guess it's just being creative with, because I worked as a DJ and did those events. I would come home. I'd get home 2 or 3 in the morning after my events. And you can't go to sleep. And some people would drink, you know, some people play video games. And I was one of the ones that I'm a writer. So I'd write for an hour or so. And that's how I knocked that out. And then I kind of got into doing the shorts with the I Love the Fat Chicks was actually a song that I wrote, and we hired a rapper.
So that wasn't you singing?
It was me
on
that,
you?
yes, because the rapper didn't show. And we had the studio, and we had the music producer, and everybody was there. And that was back in the day when there was Def Comedy Jam was on, and the music producer goes to me, goes, "Hey, Bill, you're a public speaker, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why don't you do this as poetry?" So I did. We got the beat. I did it as poetry, kind of song. It's dance poetry because it's definitely dance music. And I've got I Love the Fat Chicks. I've got 11 other songs too. You Took My Girl, Dog Boy, and it's been good fun for me. And I've entered them in film festivals, and as you can tell, I like animation, and so I've got a lot of those.
It was pretty good. I really liked it. I love the Fat Chick. Now, did you draw that?
No. I hired Jared Coas, is who I worked with on that particular one.
He drew the pictures?
Right. He did the animation. Right.
Now, how do you edit cartoons? Is that the same as a movie?
No. You don't edit it. What you do is you do the track first, and then you draw according to the track. So, and that's one reason. And Jared and I would talk many times about. Yeah. I'm kind of a minimalist in the way I write.
Yeah.
And that's why I have so many shorts that are animated, because it's easy to animate if you have someone that jumps in, gets right to the point, and then gets done. Whereas some writers, you'll go on too long and an animator has to draw and continue on with that story. So if you're like me, a minimalist, you can get in, tell the story, get out. That works well with animators.
Yes, it looks
good.
pretty good. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's and it's so funny. I just released The Path recently, and people they looked at The Path and they go, "Wow, that is really serious." And I intended for it to be a web series.
Yeah, yeah.
But then they'll know me from The Path, and then they'll look up and they'll see, oh, all this other stuff. The Fat Chicks, Computer Virus Cure, Beer and Seed, and they go, this is the only serious thing you've done is The Path, whereas, most of the stuff is comedy, so.
How many minutes is the Fat Chicks?
Almost 3.
Almost 3?
Almost 3.
Yeah. Why don't we go watch it since it's only 3 minutes? It's a comedy. I thought it was cute. Somebody might get offended, but everybody gets offended nowadays.
Well, and you know what? I mean, before they start, of course, I've had people hit me up on Facebook and say that they're offended by, how can you be offended? How can you talk about fat chicks? But understand this, it says, I love the fat chicks. You know what I'm saying? Who could be offended like that?
I thought it was cute. I thought it was
Right.
cute because, there was one woman, who wasn't trying to sell herself to you. I mean, I thought it was hilarious. I don't have to pay by the pound. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, you just got to be you and
That's
you just
right.
be you. Anyway, let's go watch it. I thought it was well done, good cartoons, and I guess that's you.
Animation.
That's you with the
That's
cartoon
right.
with the microphone, right?
Right. And I love the fat chicks.
He loves the fat chicks. Anybody out there want a date? Anyway, we'll be right back.
I went to the club. Give me a beat! I went to the club. She was there, a bit of a chub. But she had a nice face, so I took her to my place. There was a lot to love. I loved the fat chick. She was big and round. I loved the fat chick. Didn't have to pay by the pound. I loved the fat chick. I went back to my spot, out at the club. Love, definitely not. I was looking for something to rub. Only skinny missies I did see. Those vain bitches wanted nothing to do with me. Where was the fat chick? Where was the fat chick? She was big and round. I loved the fat chick, and I didn't have to pay by the pound. I loved the fat chick. Being home alone, I was tired of that. Put on the rags and I went back. I saw this girl who I'd seen before, but from what I remember, there was a whole lot more. Yes, I was fat, can't you see? But I've had gastro and lipo, now there's a skinny me. You had your chance, he screamed and yelled. Now I can get anyone, you go to hell. I loved the fat chick. She was big and round. I loved the fat chick, and I didn't have to pay by the pound. I loved the fat chick. Now she's no longer around. I love the fat chick. Maybe she'll gain some pounds. I love the fat chick. I love the fat chick.
Well, welcome back. I hope you like that cute comedy cartoon. I love the fat chicks. It's hilarious. And so what are your plans for the future now?
Well, the one thing about writers, particularly film writers, we have inventory. and it's amazing how some things take priority over others. Because I have a feature film that I've written that I'm in pre-production on. The tentative working title is Hand Duck Murder, and Hand Duck is essentially a puppet.
Okay.
And I don't know what the end title will be, but that's what we're starting with. Thing about it is, I was in pre-production with that before I got the inspiration for The Path. This came and interrupted my train of thought, and sometimes things that were really important, like my next feature, all of a sudden didn't seem that important. And so now I have, of course, the first episode done of The Path, and I've got a couple more episodes and kind of treating it like a web series or a pilot or something. But then to go back into comedy with Hand Duck Murder, and that's one thing. I thank you so much for having me on. I know my time is getting short, but
No, you're fine. I was just making sure we went through everything.
okay. For any of you out there that ever wondered about being a indie producer, do it. Do it, because if you don't, you'll always wonder, wow.
What
I wonder
if?
what exactly,
if?
what
Yeah.
if? Because I can tell you this, I'll take something that's completed. Beer and Seed, my first feature that's on Amazon. I wrote it. Bob Willems said, "This is a piece of garbage." Bob Willems of Champion Entertainment. I mean, that was his encouraging words. This is a piece of garbage. And I rewrote it though, and it was really a good script. Yeah. And then when we got all the talent, we had some absolutely awesome talent, and that we cast. And it didn't turn out exactly the way I envisioned. But it turned out wonderful, because it wasn't only my talent, but it was the collection of all the other talent that was put together. And it was a wonderful experience. I've got loads of comments and accolades on it. 6.7 IMDb.
Pretty good.
Yeah, for being indie, I was floored when I got it, and I'm so appreciative. And that's from the talent, the cameramen, the editors. I mean, it's everybody in order to get that, and the script consultants that I used in order to get that. But it's just so wonderful to complete a collaborative project. And the nice thing about it being indie is, like you, I haven't acted as much as you have in different roles, but I've worked as a cameraman, I've directed, I've written, I've acted.
You've been on set. Yeah.
Been on set. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about indie, that you get to do it all. And that's a wonderful thing. It's absolutely wonderful. And I invite anybody out there that's watching, support those indie artists.
Yeah.
Give some encouragement, and if nothing else, also join them. It's fun, and you never know what you're going to end up with. It's just been wonderful. And
How
I've
long did
enjoyed
it take you to complete The Path?
As far as writing it, maybe a couple of months. But to do the casting and get all the locations, that was probably a month. But we actually did only one long shoot day.
Oh, wow.
One long shoot
You
day.
ran all over the place because you
Yes,
have a lot
we
of
did.
locations
Yes,
there.
yes, we do.
I mean, I saw the beginning, I saw the ending. I got to go back and see the middle. 'Cause that's
Right.
But I saw a lot of locations.
Right.
I mean, and I didn't think you did it in one day, but
Well, and what we did is we had a crew and a setup crew, and the crew tore down, and when we went to the next location, the set was partially set up already except for what we brought with us. So,
Okay.
And so it was bang, 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 and that was set up by Crystal Bolton and Victoria Krause.
yeah,
with
I
Cross Set
met
Production.
Victoria Cross. She's real awesome. I saw Becky Burns in the short.
Vicki Burns was in it.
Yeah,
Yes,
her
excellent.
birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Becky. I'm going to try to come to your birthday party. You invited me. I have a long day tomorrow, but I'm going to try to come. I'll never
Right.
forget now. She was born the day after April Fool's.
Oh, so it wasn't no fool. So
The day after my fake wedding. Yeah, I didn't get married, by the way. Some people actually believed it, but it's hilarious. No, it's pretty good. Yeah, I work with Victoria and Becky, so yeah, that's good. If you do it in one day, I couldn't do it in one day. I would be so stressed out.
well, right. It takes a lot to get it done, but in a short, that is possible. But then the rest of the time, like with the features, of course, you schedule everything out. So
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for coming. I know you emailed me around Christmas, and it's here. It's April Fool's Day.
Right.
Sorry it took so long. I'm just so busy. It's just crazy.
Busy is good.
Yeah,
Busy is good.
yeah,
So-
busy is good. But it was really nice to meet you.
And thank you too. And thank you so much for watching and encouraging other indie artists like me.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Just keep going forward. You just never know.
Right.
That's how Robert Rodriguez started. Now he's worth, can you guess how much he's worth now?
More than me.
53 millions. And he started making movies just like all you indie filmmakers up there, so don't give up. Just think of Robert Rodriguez. He's worth $50 million now. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.